Oh my goodness. So, wow. I got all the feels. Do you have all the feels? Yeah. The music is so deep and rich and powerful here. Sonia, thank you. Another example of someone living into their zone of genius. Here's this beautiful being who is more known as a percussionist than a music director, who always wanted to have a band for a church and have a band for a spiritual community and develop a music ministry. And I am so grateful that we cross paths and that you are here. Yeah. It's all about living into your dream and your desires. All right, y'all. So here we are. We're at the end of our money month. So Jenna says she's going to do a compilation of my sayings. So all right, y'all is one of them. Here's the thing is another one. Rut-row is one. But we're at the end of our month and talking about unstoppable financial flow. Unstoppable financial flow. And here's why I'm talking about this. First, you all know that I'm not shy about talking about money, so that's one thing. So if you're thinking about being a member and you don't want to ever talk about money, this is not the place for you. I'm an entrepreneur also, and so I absolutely know the sacred walk that is, and having abundance right now. It was really important to me in this month as we look at all the things that are shaking our firmament of the earth, right? Of our structures and our government and different things are really shaking, right? Shaking to the core right now. And what I want more than anything, and I've said this every Sunday this month, is I want you to be aware that you are plugged into source at all times, and that God is your source, not the government, not your clients, not your customers, because things are going to shake, things are going to change. And the more that you're aligned with one channel and thinking that's your source, the more difficult these times are going to be. And so what I want for us is to begin to cultivate and deepen and understand that God is source and God shows up through multiple channels, and for us to be open to those multiple channels, thereby creating our own economy no matter what happens with this one, right? Because we all know that throughout history, there have been individuals and groups that have done just fine during downturns or economic instability, and we are a part of that, right? A part of those who flourish and thrive and help others during this time. So that's what we're here that's why we're talking about this. So today I'm going to wrap up with the 5 keys to unstoppable financial flow, also known as UF, okay? UF. And I know I'm supposed to only give you 3, like that's the thing about giving a talk. You're supposed to give 3 points, but I have 5, so just take the abundance that's coming at you. So here's the thing, y'all. We've been talking this month about abundance being our natural state, right? Like, what if abundance is our natural state? Because it is. God is abundance. God is overflowing. God is infinite. God expresses in a multitude of ways, in an infinite number of ways. God is creative, right? God is all powerful. So we're talking about something that is naturally abundant. It is the source of all things. And we also talked about how on this land, literally in this land, in San Jose, Silicon Valley, is a land of abundance. It was abundant when the indigenous peoples were here, right? It was abundant with fish and with food and with flora and fauna and all the things. And then later, when there were farms here, it's an abundant land, right? The farms giving forth cherries and fruit and all kinds of things. This is abundant land that we actually are living on, standing on, right? And then the tech companies come along, and that's an abundance of ideas, abundance of world-changing ideas, abundance of energy, abundance of amplification, of expansion. We live in an abundant space, right? And so today I want to talk about us really getting the first key to UF, right? The first key to UF is realizing that abundance is natural and therefore it's something that we allow, right? We allow it to be itself. We allow it to flow in our lives, right? We are made for this. We are loaded and coded. Literally, the abundance that created us is literally loaded and coded into our veins, our cells, our DNA. right? It's loaded and coded in there. And so we are literally, we are places and spaces of abundance. We don't have to strive for it. We don't have to hurt others for it. We can just allow it, right? Allow abundance to come forth. So that is the first key. Realizing abundance is your blueprint. It is natural, right? And how can you allow more and more and more of it? So one of my favorite quotes is Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all of the barriers within yourself that you've built against it, right? It's not to seek for love. It is to seek for the barriers within yourself that you've built against it. And the same can be true about money, about wealth, about ease, about prosperity. We don't have to seek for it, but we do need to look at what are the barriers, right? What are the barriers that are keeping it from its full flow and full flourishing in our lives? So the second key I want you to consider is this statement: mindset eats action for lunch, right? So in the business world, there's a saying that says culture eats strategy for lunch. What that means is the culture of an organization is always going to triumph over or trump any kind of strategy you put in place. If you don't deal with culture, the people, right, and how people think, their norms, the behaviors, the patterns, if you don't deal with that in an organization, whatever strategies you have are not going to take, if they're not in alignment with that culture, it's not going to work, right? So if we take that to this concept of mindset eats action for lunch, what do I mean? What I mean is that we spend so much time in our lives when it comes to money thinking about, I got to grind for it. I got to work hard for it. I got to do all these things for it. I got to marry this person I don't want to for it, whatever it is, right? We come up with these stories and things that we do, right? And places we put ourselves that we don't want to be because we got to get money. We got to get money. And the truth is that money does not come from overworking. It does not come from putting yourself out of alignment. It comes from alignment with the divine. It comes from alignment with abundance, right? So if you think about that 80-20 principle, 80%, 20%, that says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. If we apply that to money, we could say in spiritual terms, 80% comes from your mindset, your belief, your alignment. In science of mind, we call that mental equivalent, right? 80% comes from your mental equivalent and 20% comes from action. Let me say that again, right? If you want unlimited financial flow, 80% comes from your mindset, from your mental equivalent. Actually 100%, but we'll just go with this number with me, right? Right? 20% comes from action. And so frequently it's flipped, right? So if I just do another thing, if I just if I just bend myself this way, if I just do this, if I just do that, and it's like, no. Look at how you can come into alignment with greater abundance that already is. And then once you're in alignment, then you'll actually be moved into divine right action, or the actions that you take will be in divine right action, right? So I remember in my business, maybe about 10, 15 years ago, I was working with a client which I've shared this with y'all before, but I was coaching a client who he still has an incredible abundance mental equivalent. And this person works for very, very little bit of time and makes a lot of money. So much so that when I began working with them, I was a little angered and offended because they literally said to me, I don't work hard for money. Like, I'm not going to do that, right? And it's like, that Midwestern Puritan work ethic was like, what? But what I knew then is that because it triggered me, there was some work I need to do around that, right? And my own belief around you have to work really, really hard for money, really, really hard. So anyway, this client was a big shift for me in opening my awareness that you don't have to work hard, right? You don't have to burn yourself out. And so in my coaching business, there came an opportunity where I could license some of my training programs to a company that many of you know, a Fortune 500 company. And I was able to do that, and it unfolded really easily for me to license this training program. And it was a beautiful, very abundant, very easeful way of doing business. And I had another licensing deal that came from another company, and again, it was very easeful. And then one time I decided, okay, I am going to now create this training program. I've done all of this research with all of my clients. I've done, I did research to figure out what they wanted to learn more about, what they were willing to pay for training. I did all the things you're supposed to do, okay? And I put this program together. It was on how to communicate with impact for virtual teams. I actually have a podcast on iTunes. If you go look, you'll find it from years ago. So I created this program, and then I went to sell it to my corporate clients who had told me that's what they wanted, okay? Not only had they told me that's what they wanted, I had the data to prove that's what they wanted. And I didn't sell one of those. Maybe I sold one. And I put a lot of effort into it. I created all this stuff. I had all these different things that went along with the training, and I'm all ready to license it and go for it, and did not sell one of those things. And I worked so hard. And part of it was way too early. Had that happened in 2019, 2020, it would have been a different story. But in 2012 or whenever that was, there was just, people didn't, remote working was not that big a thing. So the point I'm making is, the licensing deals just sort of came in. And yes, I had to do some work to fulfill those deals, but they came in really easily because I was working on expanding my consciousness that I can do well without killing myself. Like, there's some resources and things I have to offer that I can look at. How can I monetize this? How can I maximize this? How can I have ease and flow around what I'm offering? And it worked out beautifully. And the second I went into efforting, right, and I got to do the research, and I'm not knocking research because you do need to do that at times, but in this instance for me, I did all those things. I went through all of this effort, all of this thing, and hired a staff and put that whole thing together, and crickets for the most part, right? So the point I'm making is, stop hustling to prove your worth, right? Stop hustling to prove your worth and start aligning with the capital T truth, that you are worthy of abundance and you are born into abundance. And for those of you who are entrepreneurs here or have a business of some type, this is so important, because as entrepreneurs, we grind and grind and grind. And there's a culture around hustle culture, hustle, 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 hustle. And I am inviting you into flow, 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 flow. Yeah. And this is for anyone, actually. This happens a lot with corporate clients who have jobs. Hustle, 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 trying to get to the next thing. And it's like, just let go, right? And align with what's true. And then the fruit will come to you. The fruit will emerge. All right, y'all. Third one. You ready? Okay, so this one has to do with your relationship with money, because you got to get that right. You got to be in right relationship. So here's some really interesting stuff about relationships and money. Before I go into it, let me ask this question. If you were in a relationship with money, your money right now, okay, if you're in a relationship with money, how would you describe the relationship? Tenuous, okay. Neglectful, grateful, fun, hit and miss, manageable, toxic. Yeah. So here are all the different things that are coming up, right? The relationship that you have with money, right? What is going on with the money? So I'm going to ask you right now, for those of you who threw out an answer or have an answer in your head, I want you to scan through your relationships now or in the past. And have you had other relationships that have been tenuous, that have been toxic? Maybe your home relationship, maybe your family of birth relationship, maybe romantic relationships. Is there a thread in your money relationship that you see in other relationships? Because it is a relationship, yes? So for me, money has always been, and I've grown and grown and grown, but it's always been where I had to work hard for it. I had to prove myself for it. And then sometimes it was there, and then sometimes it wasn't. Like once I got to be an adult, right? Or sometimes it was there, and then sometimes I'd lose it. And what I realized is it was that was characteristic of my relationship with my father, right? Sometimes he was there, sometimes he wasn't. right? My relationship with money was inconsistent. I couldn't, I could depend on it sometimes, and then sometimes I couldn't depend on it, right? And sometimes it was there and I'm fully supported, and other times it's a ghost town, yeah? And so I'm just gonna invite you to look for your own self in your life at what is your relationship to money, and then where else do you see that imprint, right? Where else do you see that imprint? And I invite you to get Gail West's book, which I didn't bring with me today. It's called Money Come Dance With Me. And in that book, and Gail is right sitting back here in the back. Raise your hand, Gail, so everybody can see you. So it's this great book called Money Come Dance With Me. And in the book, she talks even more deeply about relationship into healing your ancestral relationship with money, right? Because we carry the traumas and the wounds and the good stuff from our ancestors in our genes and our DNA. It's called epigenetics. Right? And so sometimes we're carrying around something from our ancestral past that's up for us to heal it, right? Not only for us, but then for our lineage. Yeah. And so, so relationship with money is a big, big, big thing, right? Big thing. Y'all still with me? Yes. Okay. All right. Is this resonating? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 4, shall we? Okay. So here's another thing I found about money. And actually, this can apply to other things. So if money is not something you're struggling with right now, just apply it to something else in your life, right? It might be health, it might be relationships. So here's the other thing. The fourth key is you've got to be willing to let go of the benefits you get from playing small around money, right? You got to be willing to let go of the benefits. Because here's the thing. Even in things that are unpleasant, even in relationships that are unpleasant, we stay in them because there's a benefit that we're getting, right? There's a benefit. So if you never have enough money or you're always scrambling for money, then there's some benefits you're getting out of that, right? It could be that then you don't have to do the thing that you're really afraid to do or the things you're afraid to do. You get to stay in your comfort zone. I heard a noise over here. Okay. Uh-oh. I hear some testimonies, some witnesses over here. Uh-oh. Right? So there's a you can stay safe if it's always like I don't have and not having money is a good way to not do stuff, right? When you say to someone I can't afford it, then that's okay. But if you said to someone I'm afraid of getting out of my comfort zone, right? Right? So that's some of the benefits. Other people rush to help you. Right? Other people rush to help you. So you get to be not fully in your power and not fully a grown-up when there's not enough because somebody's going to give you something or take care of you. Right? Right? Because when you are fully sourced and resourced, that is a powerful state. That is a powerful place to be. Right? And if you're dancing around your power, then it's much easier not to have enough and then have other people come and help you out and rescue you. Yes? Y'all with me? Yeah? And so here's the thing. You can also get sympathy from people, right? Oh, poor so-and-so. They're always trying their best. They're always struggling. Oh, poor so-and-so, right? Then you get sympathy in people caring about you in that kind of way, yes? These benefits sound familiar? Yes? And so one of the things you have to ask yourself is, am I ready to let go of these benefits? Am I ready really to let go of these benefits? Right? And the thing is, you don't have to, there's no judgment, but you want to be awake, right? You want to be awake that, oh, okay, me not having enough money consistently is me playing small. Okay, I got it, right? I'm awake about that, and I'm choosing that that's what I'm going to do right now. And there's nothing wrong with that, but now you're making a conscious choice, which is a powerful thing, versus having these hidden tapes and these hidden programs running you, right? Or, you know what? I want to, I like the feeling of people, helping me out and supporting me. And I like that and I want that. And so I'm going to continue to do it this way. That's fine. But own it. Own it, right? Because that's a powerful place to be because you're consciously making a choice. Yes? And if you choose to do something different, then really looking at, okay, how can I step out of my comfort zone and recognize and know that I am totally and completely safe because God is everywhere and God is moving me out of my comfort zone. God is whatever it is that I'm expressing, right? So how do you begin to do that dance of being out of the comfort zone, being uncomfortable, and still doing it anyway, right? And being willing to do it anyway. And the other thing I'll say, and I'll say this to the women entrepreneurs in the room, and not to exclude the men, if this applies to you, but I've worked a lot with women and women entrepreneurs particularly, and women leaders, that there's something about money, because women are socialized typically, generally, to not be powerful, right? To be nice, to be liked, to be likable, to be pleasing to the eye and pleasing to everybody, right? And that's a very different energy than someone who is actually giving birth to their sustenance, right? That is actually birthing their wealth and birthing their money and resourcing themselves. It's a different energy. And it doesn't mean it has to be masculine energy, right? But for women, there's this thing about the power that comes with actually having enough, right? Having a surplus, having an abundance. There's stuff that we have to unlearn about being able to stand in that, right? So I just want to invite you into that space. Let go of the benefits, or take them wholeheartedly, honestly, and consciously, right? All right, here's the fifth one and the final one, y'all. Money likes certain things. It likes order, right? And it likes to circulate. Money is energy. It's energy, right? And it likes to circulate. It likes movement. And that's why when you're stagnant, your money can get stagnant. When there's a lot of clutter and clustered energy, your money gets stuck, right? Because money likes movement. It likes to circulate. It likes to move. It likes order. It likes space. And so one of the things that you can begin to do, and we've talked about this before, is look at what is the energy with which I am circulating my money. So this looks like joyously letting it go, joyously catapulting it out into the world, joyously paying your bills. Like sing, right, and pay your bills. Dance and pay your bills, right? Dance and take care of your whatever needs to be taken care of financially, right? Tithe to the place where you are being spiritually nourished and nurtured. Right? So many people run from tithing, and I get it, because we think about the church as like, corrupt, and the minister has an airplane and a helicopter. My helicopter is being repaired right now, so. Right. Yeah, I'll use Etienne's helicopter next time I come to work. Thank you so much. Thank you. But here's the thing. When I'm talking about tithing in here, it is a sacred act of you generously giving to the source that generously gives to you, right? Feeding where you're fed spiritually. It's not philanthropy, which is giving to an organization that you want to give to and help. Philanthropy is beautiful, but it's different than tithing. Tithing is a sacred act, and it's not about me, and it's not about the church. It's about you and God. Because when you say, nope, I'm not going to give because, Reverend Rasheryl's going to get a helicopter, right? But here's what the law reads. The law reads, whoa, lack and limitation, right? You see my posture, right? And so then the law delivers lack and limitation, right? When you joyously give, and whether it's here or Agape or San Jose, wherever it is, when you joyously give to the place that you're getting your spiritual sustenance, you're setting the law in motion. It's like, yes, more, please, right? And I've shared with you all before, when I was in ministerial school, COVID hit when I was in ministerial school, so I was supporting a bunch of my corporate clients. I was in ministerial school. I was on the board of CSL Global, and I was on like 3 or 4 committees with CSL, and I was doing like 5 or 6 classes in ministerial school. It was intense, right? Because Spirit was like really pushing me to get done with my ministerial school. I didn't know why. Later I found out why. But there was a lot. It was a lot going on, and I was looking at everything, and I was getting within myself. I was getting the answer, yes, sit on the board. Yes, be on these committees. Yes, do these things. And finally, I said, okay, Spirit, look, if you want me to do all this stuff, which I'm getting that message, yes, then I got to be supported. I can't also market my business. Like, I can't also get business in. So I need to be fully supported. And so it started coming to me in meditation to tithe 10% of the gross of my business. Now, I had never done that before, because the tithing rule says 10% of your salary. That's the rule. So when Spirit's telling me tithe 10% on the gross of my business, and I'm paying people, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how that works, God. Like, that's not how that works, because the rule is I tithe on my salary. That's what the rule is, right? I'm telling Spirit this, right? Like, you clearly don't understand what the rule is here. Let me get you straightened out on this. So I did that little dance for maybe a month or so, and finally I was like, okay, I'm just gonna tithe. Whatever comes in, I'm just giving 10%. Whatever comes in, 10%, I'm just gonna do that. The second I started doing that, literally business started coming through the door, right? Coming through the door. People reaching out to me. I don't wanna name names on camera, but I did work during the pandemic globally for multiple companies that you know the name of. I did webinars just invitations were coming in to do all kinds of stuff. The program I designed on virtual presence for remote teams, or communicate with impact for remote teams, I was able to take bits of that and do that work with people. And I did master classes for CSL Global, right? Work just started coming in like that for the next 3 years, 3 years, right? And it was not because of the minister of the church I was at in Phoenix. It was because between me and God, what I said was, yes, I trust you. Yes, you are abundance, and I'm going to act like that. Yes, I am made from abundance, and my actions are going to prove that, right? Yes, I believe this. Yes, I'm opening up wider than I ever have before. Right? I'm trusting more than I ever have before. I'm giving more than I ever have before. And by putting that energy into rotation, into circulation, the bounty that came back was astonishing. And I did not have to put forth effort. I had to deliver on the work I got that came in, but I didn't have to look for work for 2 or 3 years. Anyone in business knows you have to cultivate that. Right, but I was so plugged into these other things I had going on with school and the board and the classes and all these things. I had so much going on, I didn't have the capacity for it. And I was cared for the whole way through, right? So it's all about circulating money, because it is between you and source, because you cannot fool the law, right? You cannot fool the law. You can't go, well, nope, I'm not gonna do that because blah, 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 and then think you're going to have abundance on the other end. The law operates based on what you put into it. Yes? And so this is about circulation. And if money is not the issue for you right now, or something you need to be worried about right now, then think about health, right? Where are you giving generously related to your health? Maybe it's self-care, right? Maybe you're not really giving to yourself what you need, and then wondering why your health is not bountiful. Right? Maybe it's relationships. Maybe you're not giving in some way into certain relationships, and then wondering why your relationships are not bountiful. Right? So apply it wherever you need it. Yes? But the point is, you want to keep things circulating. Yes, Connie? Yes. So Connie was sharing with me that her brother, who is wealthy, very wealthy, has always been a tither. And so we were talking about that. She said he always has been a tither. And he goes to a traditional Christian church, yes. And he says, you can't give more than God, right? I think my grandmother used to say, you can't outgive God, right? You can't beat God giving. There's a song called You Can't Beat God Giving, right? You can't beat source. You can't outgive source. That's what that means, right? So these are the things that you can begin to do now to release the oof in your life. Are y'all ready? Yeah? So choose one of these. I invite you to choose one of these and begin to practice it. If you're in 4T class now, make sure you're doing the homework every week and do it. That was another big shift for me in my financial abundance, was taking 4T. Reverend Sherry's offering that now. If you're in that class, make sure you're listening, you're doing the work, you're doing the workbook, because all of these things will help us really get anchored in God as source, so that we can ride the wave of whatever this world throws our way, right? Because there's some stuff that is happening, and there are things that are coming, and there is turbulence. And so we want to be plugged into that which does not change, and that which is always abundant, and that which is supplying our every need. We want to be plugged in there at source. So when the channels shift and change, we're all plugged in. Yeah, are y'all with me? Yes. All right. So let's turn within, shall we?